This is going to be my round of 16 and forward predictions for the Champions League. In the playoffs, I got half the teams to go through wrong. I had too much faith in the Italian teams. Every single one of them got knocked out. And then I thought Monaco were going to go over Benfica. So hopefully I do better in this prediction. I most likely won't, but we're going to start off with PSV versus Arsenal. So PSV's recent form has been not so good. Only one win in their last 5. They beat Juve, one of the Italian teams to beat here. I don't think they were that much better than Juve when they were playing the 2 legs. They just managed to get that last goal and go through. I don't understand how this Dutch team is here when they still have Perisic and De Jong up top. Those guys are a combined age of like 75 or something. How are they still playing? I guess that just shows how bad Juve are as a team right now. But even in saying that, PSV still have a chance against this Arsenal team who can't seem to score. But there is a question until one of their, I guess, better players right now, he could be injured. I've seen right here that he could be injured, but I'm not sure. So that would be a big miss for them in that first leg. As for Arsenal, they're also all over the place, and that's due to just not being able to score. Defensively, they're solid, but attacking, they have no options. They're running Mikel Merino up top. They have Nwaneri, who's like a 16-year-old on the right wing, relying too much on a youngster. And then on the left wing, they have Trossard, who looks like he doesn't sleep. And it's not just them, it's also their creative players, mainly Odegaard. He has been awful since coming back from injury. And that's coming from someone who actually likes Odegaard. As a City fan, I still like Odegaard. But I don't see Arsenal getting knocked out by PSV. I think their defense is going to come in really clutch in these 2 legs. So I have Arsenal going through over the 2 legs. Next up is Real Madrid versus Atletico. We'll start off with Real Madrid, who has been in great form. They have picked it up tremendously since the start of the season, especially Mbappe, who is now on a Ballon d'Or run, apparently, to some Madrid fans. But speaking of Mbappe, could be injured for this first matchup. It says doubtful, but I don't know. He could miss it. I don't know. And also Valverde is also doubtful. So we'll just have to see. But we all know this Madrid team just lets out their inner demons around this time. When knockout stages come around, they turn into a different team. But in the recent form against Atletico, they have drawn 3 times. Their last 3 games, they have drawn 1-1. So we could be seeing some draws here. And potentially even pens. As for Atletico, they have drawn 3 games in their last 5, so it's not the best form right now. But I will be cheering for Atletico in La Liga. There is a 3-horse race right now. Atletico is not far off of, it's like 1 point off of Madrid and Barca. I hope they win that league because I hate the other 2. And I do have to say, this new way of playing from Simeone is way better than that defensive style they have had for like a decade now. This is so much more entertaining. But Simeone, please come in clutch. We cannot have Madrid win another Champions League. I am tired of it. I am so tired of it. And I feel like Atletico Madrid is the only team that can stop these guys. And that's crazy to say because Atletico against Madrid in the Champions League is horrendous. Horrendous form. But I'm praying. I am praying. Because if they don't win, if Atletico don't win this matchup, I think Madrid win the whole thing. And that's why I have Atletico going through. I cannot stand Madrid. Atletico need to go through. Next up is Paris versus Liverpool. Paris, the only team on here who has 5 wins in their last 5 games. They had an easy playoff match against Brest. 10 goals on aggregate, knocking them out. Paris have been also in an incredible scoring form. Ever since Kvara came in, Dembele went down the middle. That has figured out, unlocked Dembele, who has been hit or miss since the start of his career. He's always a good player. He can dribble, but he can never shoot. His finishing was awful. But down the middle, he's starting to score, and that team is very dangerous right now. Also, another plus for Paris is that their last loss came in November, and that was to Bayern. A 1-0 loss to Bayern. That's 4 months ago. So Liverpool have a big task here. As for Liverpool, they are our group winners, our group league winners. but recently they are in bad form. They're picking it up against the with 2 wins against City and Newcastle. But I mean, City is up and down, and Newcastle didn't have Isak, so I don't know. But if Salah wants that Ballon d'Or, and if Liverpool want to help him, I think he needs to win this. I think he needs to win the whole thing, because whoever wins this Champions League, the Ballon d'Or winner will come from there, most likely. And another plus for Liverpool is that the second game will be at home, so less pressure in the second game, more advantage, and just because of that, I think Liverpool sneak it through. Paris have been in great scoring form, but Liverpool are a hard team to break down, especially with Van Dijk and Alisson and Konate in the back. Trent and Robbo aren't the best, but the other three, the triangle at the back, are solid. And it's not going to be easy, but Liverpool go through. Next up, we have Club Brugge versus Villa. Club Brugge, surprising upset against Atalanta, going through, knocking them out with 2 wins out of the 2 legs, beating them 3-1, I believe, at Atalanta's home. So big props to them. No one really expected that. Atalanta were first in that playoff spots, 9th place against 24th, and 24th managed to go through. But they do have a big miss or big injury. Tabli, I don't know how to say his name. The 19-year-old that scored a brace against Atalanta and also got assist in that other game could be out. It says he's injured, so I'm assuming he's going to be out. But Club Brugge have already faced Villa in this Champions League season. They beat them at home 1-0, so I think they already know how to play against Villa. They know what to expect, and they should be prepared for this. As for Villa, their form is all over the place. I can't predict what they're going to do in the Premier League predictions I do. It's just they lose, they win, they draw. You just don't know what's going to happen. They just drew against Liverpool, one of the best teams right now in the world, but then they lost to Crystal Palace 4-1. Also, their injuries are stacking up, especially defensively. Pau Torres has been out for a long time. Mings, I'm pretty sure got an injury recently. Kamara, who was a makeshift center back, got injured as well. And Martinez also got injured, their goalie. In the Crystal Palace game, he had to come off halftime. But there's 2 things to look forward as a Villa fan, or Villa fans out there. They have Emery. Emery is, known for his European competitions. He's won a couple Europas. Not sure how well he is in the Champions League, but I'm sure he's going to give it a go, especially against a team like Brugge, who isn't the best out of all the teams that are still in it. And the second good thing is that they have the second leg at home. But I don't know. The injuries for Villa, is Rashford going to be able to do it in the Champions League night? Is Asensio going to be able to do it? Are these guys going to be able to beat this Club Brugge team who just knocked out Atalanta? I don't think so. I think Club Brugge go through. Next up is Benfica versus Barcelona. Benfica have drawn 1 game out of their last 5. The rest were wins, so pretty good form. They beat Monaco to be here. Both teams were very tenacious, would not stop. And Benfica, I guess with more experience, were able to overcome them. But this is a rematch against Barcelona, where they had, I guess, the most entertaining game so far of the season, according to a lot of people. But I don't think it's going to be as entertaining this time. Do we really think Pavlidis is going to hat-trick against Barca? No. Come on. As for Barca, they have the same form. 1 draw, 4 wins in their last 5. And that draw was against Atletico, where they just went to war with them. 4-4. Throughout the game, the favorite to win the game changed like 3 times. It was a great watch. Well, I didn't watch it, but I watched the highlights. And the way Hansi Flick plays, that high line can bite them in the ass, but their attacking is just non-stop. Lamine Yamal and Rafinha are killing it this year. Lewandowski's also killing it. And Pedri's having, maybe one of his best seasons so far. But that team is just full of winners, of game winners. I think Barca should be going through. Next up is Dortmund versus Lille. Dortmund have Kovac in charge. They've had him for a while, but still their form is still not good. They beat Sporting to beat here, but Sporting have been cheeks since Amorim left, so it's not anything to brag about. They are still struggling in the league, still 10th place, but they do have the top scorer in Guirassy, who's been killing it in the Champions League with 10 goals. But a big miss is Julian Brandt. He's not going to be available for the first match, or I believe. These injury news reports, never trust them, but I think he should be missing, which is a big miss, the creative player there. As for Lille, they have been the surprise of the season. I thought they were going to get eliminated, not even get playoffs, and they got top 8. Very impressive. They just beat Monaco in the league 2-1, so showing that they should be here. Monaco was just in the playoffs. Did lose, but they're showing that they are a top team. They do have to play PSG in the weekend, so that's going to be a tough game. Could lead to injuries if they, try, I guess, extra hard. But that's going to be a tough game as well. But for this matchup, Dortmund versus Lille, I cannot not go for Dortmund. Like, Dortmund have history here. They were just in the final last season. So I think Lille's Champions League season ends here and Dortmund go through. Next up is Bayern Munich versus Leverkusen, a German clash. We'll start off with Bayern, who barely beat Celtic. They struggled more than they should have. And this is going to be a game of first versus second from the Bundesliga. It should be entertaining, but in recent memory, their clashes have been low scoring, so probably not as entertaining as we should expect. But a big miss for Bayern is Musiala. Could be missing that first leg. Says he's injured. Don't know if he will be when the game comes around, but if he is, that's a big miss for the first leg. And then Kimmich, I think he's going to be missing both legs. I think that's confirmed. He should be back late March or something like that. So yeah, that's another big miss for them. As for Leverkusen, they have the exact same recent form as Bayern. And also, they have not lost to Bayern since 2022. That's a great stat. 3 years not being beaten by Bayern. And also, Leverkusen have a way better coach. I think Xabi is miles ahead of Kompany. I think Kompany is just lucky to be here. He's just happy to be here. Whereas Xabi has made something out of nothing with this team. He's implemented a system that works. He's one of those managers that are trying out that wingback formation with Inzaghi and Amorim and him. They've all dominated their own leagues with that system, and he's showing that he is that guy. And also Wirtz is killing it, potentially better than what he was last season. It just looks, every time I see him, the clips I see, he's just so nonchalant. I don't know how he does it. He just sways around and drifts around. He's such a good player. But yeah, when these two teams clash, yes, Bayern have more, I guess, experience in the Champions League, but I can't see them going through against Leverkusen over 2 legs. Plus, Leverkusen do have the second leg at home, so that should help them a lot more. So I'm going to go for Leverkusen. And then the last game in the round of 16, we have Feyenoord versus Inter. Feyenoord managed to beat Milan to be here. How? I don't know how. Actually, I do. Theo is an absolute idiot. If it wasn't for diving, they would have been here. But he wanted to dive, get the red card, and it was over there. As soon as the red card came out, it was over. But yeah, Feyenoord, arguably one of the worst team here. They just got Van Persie as their coach. I don't know who decided that. I don't know what type of experience Van Persie has as managing. But to beat Inter, good luck. But a good thing for Feyenoord, Paixão is a pretty good player from what I saw against Milan in that first leg. So I guess that's what they got. But in saying that, it's could still be challenging for Inter. Inter's injuries are stacking up. Thuram has been out for, I think, a couple games. Bastoni is also out. Bišček has been playing for him. Sommer has a broken finger. Won't be back until for either of the legs. Will be back for the next round if they make it. And they also do play Napoli before this the first leg. So, and they need to beat Napoli if they want to be winning the league, which could lead to more injuries if they try, extra hard against Napoli. Napoli player comes in, strong tackle on one of their players, so it could be a dangerous game there. But I don't think that matters. Inter is such a good team. I rate Inzaghi so highly. They should be going through here. And now we go back to the top. Arsenal versus Atletico. A little bit quicker this time. Arsenal can't score. Atletico is just a new beast this season. I'm going Atletico. Next is Liverpool versus Club Brugge. Come on. Liverpool is one of the favorites here. I'm going to go out Liverpool. Then we have Barca versus Dortmund. Here is where the current two top goal scorers are going to clash. One of them has to go, and that's going to be Dortmund. Hansi Flick is moving different, knows how Dortmund flow. Should be easy for them. Leverkusen versus Inter. This is probably the toughest quarterfinals matchup here, but I think it's time for Xabi to get out of here. Inzaghi is just too good. Leverkusen and Inter have faced in this Champions League, and Leverkusen won 1-0, but I don't care. Inter go through. Then we have the semis, Atletico versus Liverpool, and then Barca versus Inter. So Atletico versus Liverpool, that's going to be a good game. I mean, both the games should be good. Like I said, if Salah wants that Ballon d'Or, he needs to win this. Yes, Atletico are good, but they usually don't succeed and win the whole thing. I'm going to go Liverpool. The other semifinal, we have Barca versus Inter. Barca have been killing it. They have two absolutely demonic wingers who do not stop, but they will be stopped here. Inter is that team. They were in the Champions League 2 seasons ago. Some people said they should have won it. I'm not going to say that. But when a team doesn't win the final, they usually come back and give it another go. And I think they're going to do it this time. Inter go through the final. So I have a Liverpool-Inter final. Probably not what many people have, but that's what I have. And in the final, Liverpool versus Inter, I have Inter winning the whole thing. Yes, Inter will win. We cannot have Liverpool win. We cannot have that. Inter will win this whole thing. And with this Champions League, I feel like the Inter players will get the respect they deserve. I feel like they don't get that. Props. Bastoni, such a good center back, isn't really talked about in the overall scene. Barella is such a beast. DeMarco, I love DeMarco in the wing back position. I mean, a lot of their players are so underrated and don't really get talked about like other players from like the Prem or the La Liga. This is a really good side, and I feel like it's getting underestimated. I mean, even the likes of Martinez, who I think is awful, but he's still a quality striker. So yeah, that's my prediction. Inter to win the whole thing. Tell me what you think in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, and peace.